That's it. Millions of South Africans went to the polls at the end of the month. It was a big turnout, and this general election in one of Africa's largest economies was labeled historic for what was at stake: the possibility that the ANC, Nelson Mandela's party, would lose the majority and be forced into a coalition government. To talk about the election results and their consequences, I'm joined from South Africa by Professor Sam Khoma. Professor Sam Khoma, hello and welcome on Business Africa. First of all, what is the latest news?
For the first time since 1994, we now have a hung national government. We also have two hung provincial governments. Why do we have hung provincial governments and also hung national government? Is that the ANC has not obtained an outright majority to govern the country, as it has done so in the last 6 successive national elections: 1994, 1999, 2004, and subsequent to that. So now this requires the government, the ANC, to then consider negotiating a coalition deal with any of the political parties that secured parliamentary seats. There are 14 in number, these parties. Now the ANC has to then get into a negotiation deal to constitute either a majority government, because they're sitting at 40.1%. They have to get to 50+1 at least to govern the government with majority advantage. The second option is for the ANC to consider constituting a government which is a minority government with a number of parties that secured 1 seat, 2 seats, and all of that. So this is what the results are saying to us, and this is what the results are saying to these 14 political parties.
What economic measures do you expect from a new coalition government?
Yes, so if you look at these 14 political parties that are represented in the National Assembly, you refer to their manifestos, the ones that they launched ahead of the national election. You realize that there is some commonality, because these manifestos of these 14 parties all spoke about the need to create the much needed jobs for these 10 million plus unemployed South Africans. They also spoke about reforming the state-owned enterprises, Eskom, Transnet, Denel. Also, they also indicated that they want to eradicate poverty. So the point is, these parties, in as much as ideologically they are far apart, they should be able to converge at the policy level on what should become the most appropriate economic reforms, economic measures, and economic interventions to address these socioeconomic conditions, unemployment, poverty facing or afflicting majority of South Africans.
Do you see investors, and particularly foreign investors, being rattled by the new political status quo?
The markets are jittery. The markets are unsettled because this is unprecedented. They don't know which way these political parties will take in terms of constituting a government, whether a minority government or a majority government. And also they are looking forward to political certainty in the next 14 days, because that is the period available for National Assembly to elect a president, who will then proceed to assemble his cabinet of ministers and assign them different portfolios. But we know that investors usually are keen to see who is the likely Minister of Finance, who is the likely Minister of Trade and Industry and Competition. That would be a major concern for investors. Policy certainty as well. Now that you'll have a coalition government, what kind of economic policies that are going to be initiated and also implemented by this new government. They will always be concerned about protection for private property, for example, and also looking at the cost of doing business, but also looking at measures put in place by the government to attract foreign direct investment and also to attract and retain these investments in the context of our country.
Professor Sam Comer, thank you very much.